Hello, everybody. I want to talk about fair weathered friends or fair weathered people and how I believe how society runs in general. And I think a majority of people have good intentions where they see a need, meet a need, or have a desire to meet a need. And that's why we have GoFundMe's and all that fun stuff. And so I want to talk about fair weathered friends or fair weathered individuals in general. And why sometimes it can be challenging for those that jump in and help and go the extra mile. The truth about helping when it comes to fair weathered people is there are a lot of individuals who want to jump in and help, have good intentions, but yet when it's time to step up, they drop out of the race. I'm fortunate because I have the ability to help in different ways, whether it's physical or sometimes financial, etc. And I continue to do so, but I noticed even when I start groups on Facebook and I said, "Oh, let's help other people." It's like me, and then other people say this is a great idea, and I have clothes to donate and stuff. But then very few people actually step up. And the truth is it takes a village, and when there's only a few in that village, it almost makes it impossible for one person to carry that burden. It's kind of like being in a family where only one sibling takes care of the parents, while the rest leave the burdens on the shoulder of that one. It's not fair, but that's exactly what happens. That's kind of what the world is like. It's like everybody says, let's help, and I can donate to a GoFundMe, but actually getting in your car and leaving and driving and volunteering, that's a different story. I'm going to share a story about a beloved friend of mine when I worked at Guarantee Bank years ago. And when it was open, I don't know if they're still open. I'd have to check on that. But anyways, I worked in the mortgage loan underwriting department. And she was in a different department, but we worked adjacent to one another, and we went for lunch regularly. And it was someone I absolutely loved. And she shared the story. She had two brothers, and they were not really too involved with her mom's caretaking. Come to find out, her mom had dementia, going into full blown Alzheimer's, and my friend moved her mom in with her so she could take care of her. Well, although my friend worked, her husband was retired, so he was primary. And of course, my friend took off of work for different things, but she asked her brothers for help, and her brothers did not step up. It is common in families where one person takes care of an elderly parent or grandparent while the rest kind of do their thing and allow that one person to take care of a majority of the work. It happened in my mom's family where my grandma and grandpa lived a long life. Grandpa passed away, I don't know how old he was, but my grandma lived to 100, and my mom's sister had never moved out. She just always stayed at home and ended up being my grandma's caretaker. My grandma lived to 100 and needed care, needed someone with her. And so my aunt was there to take care of the medicine and help her get to the bathroom or whatever they needed. And so, and not that the rest of us weren't involved because people were, because people would visit all the time, but visiting is different from caretaking. So, anyways, so going back to my friend, we were out and I noticed her skin was a little yellowish per se, and normally that is a sign of um, different types of diseases. And sometimes it's, if someone's a smoker, they lung cancer and things like that. But she was becoming jaundiced, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to the doctor. I got to talk with him." And came back to work, and she said, "I have cancer, and I got to go for chemo." And I said, "Okay." And I think her friend was with her, and she said, "I'm gonna see if my friend's a match, for bone marrow." And I said, "That's great." My friend left. Um, our department head called us in within a week later and informed us she had passed away. And here I am. Um, it was probably one of the saddest funerals I had gone to. Lo and behold, at the funeral were her brothers, her mom with Alzheimer's, her husband. And I said to her husband, how you doing? He said, I'm okay. And I said, are they helping? And he said, they have to, because this is their mom. And so that's what happens. And it happens in society, it happens in families, where the burden rests upon the shoulder of one. And say if you're a do-gooder, or you're the type of person to step up, jump in and help, it does take a village. And I'm not saying don't help, but make sure that you have a couple of people alongside of you, and don't take on too much. My husband always says, you have good intentions, but don't take on too much, because then instead of helping, you're kind of hurting yourself, and you can become hardened or bitter, or you may end up feeling used. So be careful, because it does take a village, and you need more than fair-weathered friends to help. So anyways, that's all I've got, and I'll be back.